Okay, what we're going to be working on today is building another assembly inside of Inventor, but instead of using constraints, we're going to use mainly joints. You can see that I've gone ahead and I've loaded up a blank assembly model. I'm going to go ahead and place my first component, and in this case, it's going to be my plate for my particular joint. I'm going to go ahead and insert that. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this around, hit escape so I don't accidentally insert another one. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I put this in an orientation that I can see. So I'm going to ground this component, go down to my grounded list, that way I can make sure it's fully locked down, and I can check that in my model browser here. Okay, the next step is I'm going to go ahead and place my second component, and that's going to be my bracket. And I'm going to have to put this in an orientation that's close to the orientation that I want it to be in. So I'm going to rotate this a couple times about the Z-axis. And that's a nice thing that I like about Inventor is before I hit OK with my left button, I can go ahead and rotate this to get this in the correct orientation. That way it's easier to place. And I can click and hit escape to go. Okay, so I'm ready to apply my first joint. Now, if you'll notice, this might be in a different orientation than it was a couple seconds ago because I paused the video. I just want to, and it's going to allow me to make a really good point. When you select joint and you choose the type of joint that you want, the first object that you want to select is the one that's going to move. Do not select the grounded object first because then you're going to get a message that's going to say, hey, this is grounded, you want this to move. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and select this piece because that's the one that's going to move. Rigid. There. And then I'm going to go ahead and select this here. And you can see that it puts it into position, but it's not exactly where I want it to go. So I want to go ahead and just mess around with my buttons here. I don't want to flip it, but I want to change my alignment. So you can see that that's a way that you can manipulate it to get into the correct direction that you want it in and say OK, and it applies. And that's what we want. Now I want to put another bracket on the other side. So I'm going to place another bracket, place the bracket open. And this is in the good orientation that I want. So I'm going to place it and hit escape. And I'm going to do something similar to what I did over on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my joint, go to rigid, okay, and select my proper faces. That way I can go ahead and apply that joint. I'm going to select the bottom face. I want to make sure that that center button is highlighted because that's going to allow me to put that in the proper location. And there we go. And then, of course, I need to do some alignment to make sure that that's in the correct location and say, okay, there we go. The next step that I have is to go ahead and put my axle in, and that axle is going to go between those two holes. So I'm going to go ahead and place my axle. And I'm going to rotate this so that it's in the proper orientation. I'll place it over here and hit escape. Now I probably didn't need to rotate it because it's when I apply the joint, it's going to rotate it automatically. But still, it's good to be able to do that just to make sure it kind of keeps things organized for you. Okay, now the next step is to apply a joint constraint between my axle here and the holes that are on my bracket. So I'm going to go to joint, and in this case, I'm going to select cylindrical. Now, if I look at my references, I want to go ahead and select this outer diameter. And you can see that my center is highlighted. And then I want to go ahead and select this hole. Now it moves it. You see it moves it back and forth. It shows you that there's still some movement allowed there. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, and that's not really in the correct place that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and have to apply a flush constraint to move this in the proper position. I still want to allow the rotation and that's what the cylindrical joint is going to allow me to do. But I want to make sure that we have a flush constraint between this surface here and the mating surface on that bracket. So I'm going to go to joint again, and I'm going to apply a constraint. I'm not going to apply a joint in this case. So I'm going to go to constraint, and I'm going to put a mate constraint here, and I'm going to make sure that it's flush. Okay, I'm going to change my offset. I went ahead and played with this a little bit before, and if you want to play with it, if you want to put this in first and then play with your directions or play with your values, you can. But I already know what this number is going to be because I did some research ahead of time. So what you might end up having to do is to go ahead and figure out what the distances are, do some analysis. And I use the analysis tools up in the inspect to analyze distances. That way I could figure out what clearances I needed. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my flush from here to there. And I have my offset distance okay. Okay, I tried to do a constraint and it wasn't working, so I had to go back and mess with it a little bit. But if I go to mate, I need to choose the proper surfaces. So I got to go here and here, and then it works. But if you take a look at it, there's this huge gap on the other side, and there's not one there. So I'm going to change this to 0.03, and I'll hit apply, and it actually centers it right in the position that I want. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so again, with this assembly modeling, whether you're using the constraining or the joint tools, sometimes you will have to mess around with that. I'm going to go ahead and put my last component in, and that's going to be the wheel. Actually, it's not my last component. It's going to be one of my last components, the wheel. Open. And I'm going to go ahead and rotate this in my X direction. That way it's in the correct orientation that I need. Okay? All right. And I'm going to go ahead and apply my next joint with this. And I want to go ahead and put a rotational joint. I'm actually going to use automatic this time just to show you how that works. So I'm going to go to automatic, and I want to go ahead and select the inner and make sure that this inner circle, the midpoint is selected. Okay, and then I want to make sure that the midpoint of the pin is selected. And you can see that it go ahead and it applies a cylindrical, and that's what I want. And then it's in the proper location. So that's exactly what I want there. Now you'll see that the axle and the wheel are not fully constrained, and I want to keep it that way because I want to make sure that these parts can rotate in case I want to make an assembly. So the last thing I need to do is I need to put some pins in place to secure, or some screws in place, bolts in place to make sure I secure my brackets to my plate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I go to Place Content Center, and I'm going to go to bolts this time. I'm going to go to the hex head folder, and I'm going to find the particular one that I need, and that's going to be the 1035. I found my hex bolt metric, and I know that I need to go down to row 35 because I did a little bit of research early on just to find the correct size that I need. So I'm going to go to 35, double click that. You can see it kind of looks tiny. Going back to select the proper size, it's in row 45, M10 by 35. I click on that, and it's still tiny. Okay, and we're going to try to insert this. And you can see that it resizes it for us. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a joint in here of cylindrical, a joint, I'm sorry, a rotational joint. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and apply the bottom of the bolt and the core of the plate. Now, when you're looking at this, you can see that it resizes the bolt automatically. So I'm going to click, I'm going to escape out of this. Now I'm going to apply my rotational joint. So I'm going to go to joint, I'm going to go to rotational, and I'm going to select the bottom of the bolt. I have to rotate my picture here a little bit to select the bottom of the bolt. I'm going to zoom in so I can select that bottom of that bolt. And I'm going to zoom out so I can select the proper hole, the counterbore area of that, which is right there. And you can see that it puts it in place. But that's not correct. I'm going to hit cancel and I'm going to try that again. Constrain, say joint, rotational. And the reason why I did that is because it didn't have the center circle selected. There we go. Now we got it correct, because it needs to have that center point selected. And there we go, it's in the proper position. Hit OK, and there it is. And now that I have that bolt in, I need to place 3 more bolts. So I'm going to go ahead, I can copy and paste it if I want to. Let's try that. Copy and paste. Okay, and then paste again. We'll try to paste this one more time. Copy, paste, and I need 1 more bolt. Copy, paste. Now I've got 3 of these bolts here, and yes, they are overlapping, but that's okay. So I'm going to basically put these in the other holes, but instead of the rotational joint, I'm going to use the rigid joint. So I'm going to go to rigid, and same thing before. I'm going to use the same location points for my particular areas. I need to hover over this here and make sure that the center is highlighted. And I got to make sure that the center is highlighted and it moves it into the correct position. I'll say OK. I'm going to apply another joint, rigid, with one of the other bolts, making sure that the center is highlighted. Going over to one of the other holes. And it moves it into the correct position. And then I've got 1 more to do, and then I'm all finished. Rigid. Zoom in to select the proper geometry. Zoom out so I can go over to the correct hole. Rotate this a little bit. And there we go. We are in the correct location. Zoom out. And we can see we have my assembly completely finished using the method of joints.